Good morning, everyone. I just had the weirdest thing happen. I went to go live and I had like no internet. Like I had internet a second before and then it just totally went down. So I hope now my internet is robust and we can get through this live. But thank you all for being here this morning. And I have a cute project today. We are going to be making this gift card holder using the beautifully celebrated dies and they have beautiful in the name and I keep remembering the exact name and the Simply Beautiful bundle. So this opens up like this and there's room for a gift card and there's room for a message down here. I stamped wedding wishes down here. You don't have to do that. Like you can put your own personalized message down there. And I think this would also make a great birthday gift card holder. You just change things out a little bit. But I love how this comes together. And I have these little, what are these called? I keep forgetting the name. They're called coins. They're like little things that kind of click together. They're like Velcro, except they have these little things that they're called dual lock coins. That's what they are. If you've never had them or used them, I have a link down below in my supply list, and I'll show you how I use them today. But they make a very satisfying click. I put it right up to my microphone. So when they're closed, and also I like that they are clear. So they hide a little bit. So we're going to be making this today. I'll show you how to make it. And then on tomorrow morning, Saturday, hopefully by Saturday morning, sometime on Saturday, you will have a project sheet for this tutorial in your inbox, and you need to be on my email list to get my project sheets, and you can get the link to subscribe down below in the description of the video. I was a librarian in past life, so I like to give you a lot of information. So if you're ever looking for supplies or links back to my blog, go into the description of my video. You will find a lot of different links down there explaining a lot of different things. And then over on my blog post, I'll have like more specific information about the project as well, too. All right, before we go any further and I show you how to make this project, I do want to remind everyone that there is free shipping. Where's my little banner? Free shipping. Today is the final day, and your order has to be $75 or more, and then you will qualify for free shipping. So don't forget to take advantage of that. Oh, also, one more thing. I have lots of things, but the beautiful paper we're using today, and I just kind of put my cover on this beautiful paper, lovely and beautiful designer series paper that I'm using on my project today. It is on low inventory. Probably I've bought more of this paper than I have of most other papers in the past. It's a beautiful spring paper with gold foiling. When this paper sells out, it does not get made in North America. It gets made overseas because of the gold foiling. So it could potentially be out of stock for a little while. So if you like the paper, don't delay in getting it, because I'm not sure when they're going to replenish it. It could be already ordered and on its way over, but I don't know. So I clicked on a bunch of things this morning just to see if everything was still in stock. So if you're going to be placing an order for the free shipping, you like the paper, make sure you put that on your order as well. So with the $75 order, don't forget to get the product of the month. This month it is the Painted Illusions Designer Series paper. And anyone who gets the paper through me or spends $75 this month will get a collection of 12 video tutorials from myself and 11 other demonstrators, so 12 tutorials total. And I send this out at the end of the month once it's ready, and you don't have to do anything else. It will just come to your inbox, and it's going to be cards. That's kind of the way everything is skewed. There might be an occasional 3D project because I like to make them, but so far I think the majority will always be cards, but they will all have this paper in it. Of course, you're welcome to sub out. We do still have, as of earlier this week, we still did have the other 2 products of the month from December and January available. You can only choose one per order, but if you didn't redeem December's or January's, you can also pick them. So, whatever makes you happy. If you pick the one from January, Fabulous Sayings stamp set, I also have a collection of the video tutorials from last month that I will send you just so you have those tutorials. So that is one thing. The other thing, what else is going on? Don't forget to redeem your bonus day coupons. I tell you this every week until the end of February. If you earned them in January on orders or on increments of $50 or more on your order, now is the time to redeem them. You have until the end of the month, so just about a week left to redeem them. What else? There is the Stampin' Positioner starter kit offer, and I've been doing lives on using the Stampin' Positioner. I've been doing technique classes. I have 2 technique classes so far, and then I have a 3rd one that I'm going to be doing next Wednesday. That one will be the last one. As well as I did like the mirroring technique using this new Stampin' Positioner earlier in the month on a Tuesday. So you have like 3 different techniques you can use with the Stampin' Positioner. If you're interested in getting a really good deal, so the starter kit's $99. You get $125 worth of product you choose, plus the Stampin' Positioner. Like, that's not included in the $125. That's an additional bonus. Plus, this offer has free shipping on it, so you can get it anytime until March 2nd. And so it is a great deal. And I have kind of committed to sharing with you how to use a Stampin' Positioner. And so next week I'll be doing one more technique class with it to share with you. So if you're thinking about getting the starter kit, it's an excellent deal. It's a good deal even if you just want to be a hobbyist and you just want to buy from yourself and you want to get a discount, because after you get the starter kit, you get 20% off on your future orders. So it is kind of like being part like of a discount club for yourself. And so I think that's the way I started out. I wanted to get a discount for about a day, and then I decided I wanted to share this with my friends. So I kind of went from there, but that's how I did start out. And there are many people on my team that are still just their best customer, and so that's totally okay. I'm not going to pressure you into doing classes or doing videos or anything like that. But it is a great way to get your supplies at a discount, and the starter kit is a great deal just right out of the door. Okay, I think I've talked about everything. I'm just doing a quick check of my little banners section to make sure I've hit everything. If you are interested in the starter kit, I'll just mention that is where you can go to get more information. That's my blog, qbsquest.com/join. And you can go there and we'll have more information on the starter kit and what it's all about. And if you have questions, you can reach out directly to me at brendaqstamps@gmail.com, and I would be happy to answer any questions you have. It's important for me that you understand the starter kit and everything. So if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask. There's no obligations. I'm not going to be upset at you if you ask a question and then decide not to. It is about being informed, and I like to do that. Okay, so let me just pop those away, and we'll get started, and we'll make the cute little project I have for you today. So I need to pull myself back up. There I am in the corner. All right. Last time I did a tutorial, I neglected to talk about the bundles and kind of point them out. So let's do that really quickly. So let's start off with these dies right here. I only purchased the dies. This can also be purchased as a bundle, but I think the stamp set that matches this was a lot of big words that typically you might use for scrapbooking. I didn't really have like a connection with any of the words, so I opted not to get it. You can totally do that. These are the beautifully celebrated dies. There are 11 dies, and the main reason I got them were these dies. I love nesting dies because I can make boxes with them, and I can make these cute little gift card holders. So you will need these dies to make these. And yes, there are other nesting dies out there, but I cannot tell you how to make this project with other nesting dies because I made them specifically with these dies. So, with these measurements. So that's them. You'll need these. I did also use the Simply Beautiful bundle. I used words out of here, and I used dies. So I used both. And this is actually this bundle and this bundle, they are part of a suite collection. So they are kind of meant to work together. So they do work together nicely. Yeah. And just one more thing, when you buy things as a bundle, you save 10% over buying them separately. So definitely, if you are getting these, get Simply Beautiful dies and the Simply Beautiful stamp set together as a bundle to save the 10%. These ones I did as a standalone, but if you like the bundle, go ahead and get it. We all make decisions on what we absolutely need, and this is what you need to make that. I used some of this beautiful ribbon on my project, and I will tell you that this ribbon has been out of stock more than it has been in stock. So if you like it, don't forget to put it on your order because it is like a hot commodity. And I think the reason it is a hot commodity is because it goes well with a lot of different projects. It ties nicely and it's subtle. So it doesn't like steal the thunder from your project. It blends into the background, but it adds something to it. So it is a really nice ribbon with a lot of sparkle. So definitely if you're looking for a ribbon to match this project, get this one. And it was in stock this morning when I looked it up. Okay, we're gonna get started, and I will introduce any other products I used along the way. We're gonna make the Fresh Freesia one, and this other one is made from Petal Pink. So if you prefer like a pink one, then go with Petal Pink. And so we're going to start we're going to do the one out of Fresh Freesia. And I just wanted to show you how I broke this piece down to cut the different die cuts that I needed. So I'm starting with an 8.5 by 11 piece. And I'm going to, on the long side, I'm going to cut it at the 5 1/4 inch mark. And that is really great because I'm going to take this 5 1/4 by 8.5 inch piece, and that we're going to cut 2 of the larger. Here we go. 2 of the largest of these out of here. Okay, so just set that aside for a minute. We're going to do a lot of die cutting in just a moment, so I'm just going to kind of keep those together. I'm going to take the one that is now 5 3/4 in length, and I'm going to cut that one at 3 3/4. So the 8.5-inch side is up at the top, and I'm going to cut that at 3 3/4. This is going to be the connector piece between this top and the one on the back side, and we're just going to reserve this on the side. And the reason I wanted to show you how to do that is this uses an 8.5 11-inch piece to its best advantage, and I just wanted to let you understand that. You still have this piece left over. For the way I designed mine, I do not need this piece for my project, but this is still a nice chunk of a piece that you can use on a future project. Okay, I'm just going to put that aside. We're going to reserve our 5 3/4 by 3 3/4 piece. And we are now going to do a whole lot of die cutting. I want to spread out all the pieces that we're using on here so you can kind of see them, because there are a bunch of different die cut shapes that we're going to use, or sizes. We're going to bring in our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and our platform number 1, our thin die adapter number 2, a clear cutting plate for the bottom, and a clear cutting plate for the top. We're going to take that piece 5 1/4 by 8.5 that we just cut, and I'm going to stand while I do this, so sorry if my little head pops out of the picture for a bit. It's easier for me to die cut while standing, and we're going to cut 2 of these. And this is the largest of the label dies. We'll start off with 2 of the largest. All right, we'll just set those aside for a moment, and then we'll go on to the next ones we need to cut. The next one is we need to cut pieces for our flap. So we're going to go down 1 size, and we're going to use the second largest one. Now with this one, I want you to cut 1 out of a piece of computer paper, scrap paper, a light piece of paper, not cardstock, a scrap piece of paper, something that's light, because I'm going to want you to take that and we're going to fold it in half, not score it in half. We're going to fold it in half, so it needs to be really light. And I've already done that, so make sure you have 1 out of computer paper. Then you're going to cut 2 more. 1 is just going to be out of basic white, and I am using the regular basic white, not the thick. This is just regular basic white. We'll set it aside, and then we'll do 1 of these. This is still the second largest one. And we're going to do 1 out of that pretty designer series paper. And I picked a pattern that had some fresh freesia in it so that it will, you know, show on the front flap of our holder. Okay. We're just piling up everything we need in a little pile. Okay. Next up, we're going to cut, I'm just looking at my list, we're going to cut, Okay, we probably should have done that first, but that's okay. We're going to do a label. We're going to do a small label. This size of label is going to be the third smallest. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. So there's 3 larger and 2 smaller than this one, but I'm calling it the third smallest. And we're going to cut 1 label. This label is for the inside, and we're going to be writing on it. And I just realized that for the little gift card holder, we're going to actually need to grab some designer series paper and cut it down, which I didn't do ahead of time. So we're going to just pop this die cutting machine off to the side for just a second while we get our gift card pocket handy. And I want to see, I know I have some leftover designer series paper somewhere here. Yes, right here, this one. Okay. See how pretty this is? Look, it shines because it's got gold foiling on it. That's why it has been so popular. And this is nice for Easter projects as well. Really love this paper. Okay, so for our little gift card pocket, we're going to cut a piece 4.5 by 2 3/4. So I'm gonna do, I think, how big is this? I think I'm gonna do 4.5 this way. 4.5. Double check. 4.5 by 2 3/4. Okay. This is our little pocket that is going to be for our little gift card. So for this piece, we're going to score it on 3 sides. So we're going to start off with a short side, and we're going to score this at the 3/8 inch mark. So that's the first side. Then we're going to turn it and score this side right here. And then we're going to score 1 more of the short sides. And I'm going to, this is probably, you can see it better on the back side because it's not as busy of a pattern. But this has the 3/8 inch mark, this side, and then the bottom. Okay, because that's going to create our little pocket. While we have the scoring board out, this is going to be the connector piece. Remember this piece we just cut? This is our 5 3/4 by 3 3/4 inch piece. And we're going to put the long side up at the top. And this one very simply gets scored at the 2 7/8 inch mark. I'm going to move this out of the way. So this is our connector piece between the 2 largest dies, and then this is our little pocket piece. So for this little pocket piece, we're going to bring back our die cutting machine one more time because we're going to create a little dip in that piece. And I think I'm going to have it on this side because I can see it a little better. And that we're going to use, put my other die back. We're going to use the second smallest die. We're using a great many of the dies on this piece. It's nice. I really love having nesting dies. So for this one, I'm going to eyeball it, and I'm going to just cut like a halfway pocket. And I'm just going to make sure that it's centered. So my score lines are here, here, and here. This side does not have a score line close to it. Of course, when it comes down to it, I'm going to have a diagram for you on the project sheet so that you're going to be able to see what your pieces look like when you're creating it. I like to do that because it makes it so much easier. As you're cutting, you have both a visual guide and you have the written instructions. So that's what it looks like. It's sometimes hard to see the little score lines, but there's one here and there's one here. Okay. I think we've scored everything for the, die cut everything for the most part. There are some pieces for the front that need to get die cut, but I have already kind of pre-done those ones, so we might not even need to bring in our die cutting machine. Okay, for this little piece right here, for the gift card pocket, we're going to cut away the corner squares, but we're going to do it on a slight angle. So just a tiny bit of angle, just so that when we fold these together, it's going to create a nice corner and it's not going to crunch the tabs. So just on a little bit more than the square, just a teeny tiny bit more. Just angle it out just a little tiny bit. Okay, so that is our gift card pocket. This is our connector piece. This is a label for the inside. These are the two pieces for the flap. And then we have to address our two largest labels. So when you look at this, I have cut off part of the top label, and then on the back side I have cut off the top and the bottom. The reason I have to do this is because if I want this to open and the hinge is right here, I can't have a piece that comes down and blocks that. So one of these is going to have one cut and the other is going to have two cuts, but that's what allows it to open up like that. So we're going to take our trimmer, and for the top piece, for this piece that's on the front, we're going to put this with that little lump facing up at the top, or I will call it the short side facing the top. And you notice right here, there are these perfect little corners, and that's what we're going to use to line things up. These little corners right here, because they are right angles, and I can deal with right angles because I can line them up. This, I cannot line this up at all because it is on a curve. So I'm going to be looking right here, and I'm going to be lining up the edge of those lines on my groove, and then I'm going to cut. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like. And now you have, this is going to be a continuous line that comes down like that. For this other piece, we're going to do that on this side and on that side. So I'm going to line this up again, and we're going to cut. And then we're going to flip it over to the other side. And just make sure you've got it lined up, and then cut. Okay, so that's what this one looks like. And the top piece has the one side that remains intact. Okay, so I think we're getting close to having all of our pieces ready. I'm going to take a scrap piece of paper, and let's just do this right now while this is still flat. For mine, I ended up doing it after the fact because I'm like, it needs a little something, something. So we're going to take this big flower here, and we're going to very gently, very slightly stamp on it. It's very, very subtle. Because I didn't want it to look too busy. So when I stamped the Fresh Freesia in full strength, I attempted that, and it really kind of almost made the whole front very busy. Same with the petal pink. So if your pad is very inky right now, I recommend stamping off once with your ink. And that's what we're going to do with this one. So we're going to open up our fresh freesia and we're going to ink up the stamp. Or if you have another color of purple, you know, just stamp it off at least once, test it out. So we're going to stamp it on this scrap piece of paper. And then I'm going to come over here and we're just going to stamp it. So it's like very subtle, but it's going to give this background a little bit of oomph. You could also, if you wanted to, use a different pattern of designer series paper. But remember, this is a very busy pattern, so you would want to choose something that was like really subtle. You could probably use, like if you wanted to, like this pattern here. That would look okay. So then what I would do is I would still cut the cardstock for this, and then I would glue the two. I would cut one in the designer series paper, I would cut one in this one, I would glue both of them together, and then I would cut off that edge if I was going to do the designer series paper one. But I thought I just want like a little bit of designer series paper because sometimes like my brain likes simplicity. So, but there are ways to use pattern paper on the front bottom part too. You just need to choose a pattern that is very tone on tone and light, because otherwise, and we can go through the paper and I can show you what other patterns might work if you want to do that. Okay, so again, full strength, stamp off once, and then we're going to just kind of bring that in. So now I have that as my piece. Okay, we'll need this fresh freesia ink pad one more time, or maybe more, but for now we'll just move on. Okay, let's see. Okay, we need to build our front flap before we're ready to assemble. So remember I told you to cut a piece of computer paper with this same size. So you won't have to do that. If you make this multiple times, you will only have to do this once. So you won't have to, you know, keep doing it to create this template. But this, you're going to fold it in half and you're just going to make sure that it lines up really nicely. That's really hard to do with cardstock because it's too thick. So you're just going to take a moment and line it up so it lines up nicely. And then with our white piece, what we're going to do is we're going to line this up on here, and we're going to make sure that it is perfectly lined up. And then you're going to take a pencil and just draw down here. And the reason you're going to do that is because we need to score this piece, and there are no, like if you stick this up here and up here, it can wiggle around because these are both curves, and it will not, you won't get a sense of where to put the line. It will be, probably it will be a bit off. You might be able to eyeball it correctly, but this is just to make sure it gets straight. So I'm going to line this up on my 6-inch score line right here. And you might be able to eyeball it, but I'm just going to put it on here. And remember, this is the longer side we have up at the top. And we're just going to score this right there along the score line. When you score this, it's still might not be like 100%, but the main thing is that, and this one is, that's really good. It is almost 100% right. If it isn't, don't worry. I'm going to show you what you're going to do. We need to score it somewhat in half. And your second piece right here, we're going to cut it to match whatever the front is on here. So you can decide if one piece is a little longer than the other, just make a decision which side you want to show on the front. It really doesn't matter which side that is. If it's the shorter side or the longer side, or if they're perfectly even, it does not matter, because this is going to match, and then we're going to cut this off with scissors, and it's going to fit whatever you have. And the back flap gets hidden anyway, so it doesn't matter. But this, you just kind of want to get it as straight on as you can, and this pencil line method is how you do that. Okay, so we're only going to glue the paper to 1/2, okay? So, because the other half is hidden. So you can use, you can use the other half on a different project. Okay, my glue is almost done. So we'll see if it lasts. I have backup glue ready. Okay, so we're going to take this piece. I'm going to use this side because I want a little bit of that fresh freesia right there. Okay, we're going to line it up. Looks pretty good. Give it a little press. Looks still lined up. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to cut this part, the overhang, away from the piece. So just use the edge of your cardstock as a guide to cut this piece away. And so you have another piece for another project. Okay, there is the flap of the purse. And you know what? I am going into a lot of details and explanations. This is not a hard project at all, but it just needs a few little explanations for everything. Okay, so let's just kind of lay this out real quick. This is kind of the front, and this connects together. This is a label for the inside. This is the flap. And this is the pocket that goes on the inside. Those are your main pieces for this project. Okay, we're going to do the inside stuff afterwards. So we need to build the connecting piece onto these two pieces. So we're going to fold along the score line. And the nice thing is that these little corners are going to come into play again. I'm flipping this over. We're going to glue this onto here, and I'm just dry fitting it for a second to show you that all 4 of these corners are going to line up with this piece. So basically, you can take this piece and you can, we're connecting the front first, okay? So let's do the front first, because we're going to tuck the purse flap before we add this one. So you're just going to take this and line it up with the corners exactly. And just make sure it's not crooked. That looks pretty good. Okay, next up, it could have come down just a teeny tiny bit. I might be too late to do that now. Okay, if you have like an overhang or anything like that, like I didn't check the front 100%, there is a tiny bit of overhang. We can always like cut that off. I'm just gonna use that with scissors. It's like, I don't know, even like a 32nd of an inch. Like it is like not even a 16th. I think it's like a hair. We'll just cut it off because it's already stuck on there. Okay, next up, we're going to glue the flap to the back. Okay, so it's going to glue right here. And you know what? I'm noticing also right here, this is going to be a bit of an overhang. So close your thing, and then just make sure that your top is going to line up, because when you open it up, you want to have like that nice flap. If I had lined it up perfectly like I had on my other 2 times, then everything would be fine. But I didn't. But now I can show you how to correct it, right? You just want everything to line up nicely up at the top. This is the front. This is going to be the back. This white piece is going to glue onto the back, and there's going to be a little bit, like 1/8 of an inch on either side, and this is going to come together like this. Okay, so we're going to put glue here just on the inside of the back of the flap. And when I glue this down, I'm going to make sure it's centered. I'm going to make sure I can see that score line peeking out above there. And then I'm going to close this, and then I'm also just going to kind of bend this over the top to make sure that it does fold. You want to make sure it can fold over that edge like that. Okay. Then we're going to flip this over. And I mean, it doesn't look bad from the back, even with this white on here, but we're going to cover it up like this. Okay. So only put glue on the rectangle, not on the edges, because if you glue the edges down, your thing won't open. So we can put it over the top of the white all the way down onto this rectangle here. And then we're going to take this piece and we're going to match it up with the other die, the other die cut that was on the front. You want it to like match up so it looks consistent. And it's nice, you know, this is all the same color. So even though there is a bit of a break right here, it does look cohesive. Okay, so now we have this and this, and you can see the back, and it does open up nicely. All right, next up, we are going to do our little pocket. So we're going to fold along the score lines. And whenever I do little gift card pockets or whatever, if I ever do a pocket, I always like my side pieces to be in first, and then I like to tuck my bottom piece in. Do you know why? Do you know why that is? I need to grab a card. I have a little bag of used gift cards. So I'm just going to show you what happens. If you have your side pieces first and your card slides down, it's going to come all the way down and it's not going to hit this bottom piece. But if you tuck this in first, you slide down on the sides, you sometimes hit this bottom piece because if you have the sides out right here, it is kind of helping the pocket stay open so it doesn't hit this bottom piece. So you want this one last. So the sides go in first, and then I'm just going to pop a little tiny bit of glue, a little dot. Of course, my glue is stubborn right now. Okay, just a little dot. And then we're going to press the bottom over the sides for a second. That's going to make sure that I do this in the correct order. So you're going to have to hold it, otherwise it will pop up because there's not a lot of cardstock or paper holding that. So now you have your pocket done in the correct way, sides first and then the bottom. And now we can go in and put glue on all of these sides like that. You could decide if you wanted to, you can put your pocket either on this piece or this piece. I decided to do it on the middle piece. So you're just going to line it up with the bottom of this rectangle, but you're going to leave yourself enough room so that you can see that score line. It has to be above that, otherwise it's going to impede closing it. You know, you want to be able to, you have to lift this up to close it, but you want to make sure that it can close, right? And if you glue on top of that score line, it's going to crunch everything together. So that's going to create your little pocket. And now when you slide this in, it should go all the way to the bottom. Now I'm going to make a big liar out of myself, but yes, it should go all the way in to the bottom like that. Okay. All right, next up, we're going to do a little something on this piece before we glue it in. And I don't think, yes, we do need scrap paper. We're going to do, what did we do? Oh, I know what we did. We stamped onto the cardstock. So that's what we're gonna do first. Okay. No, I'm doing things out of order. We'll stamp the greeting first, and then we'll stamp onto here. I'm using fresh freesia ink, and I want to stamp wishes first. Wishes first, kind of make sure it's straight. Oh, and I cut wedding wishes in half. It used to be all one long greeting. I just went ahead and cut it in half. That's kind of the beauty of photopolymer. You can kind of, you know, adapt it. And there is my wedding wishes greeting. Then we're going to take that ink pad and this stamp right here. Just gonna clean that off for a second. And we're just gonna add this flower here and turn this one upside down, and this flower here, just to give it a little more of something on there. And then we're going to glue this. I'm just trying to use up the glue that will flow, and we'll just glue that down here. And if you don't want to put a greeting on here and you just want to put your own wedding message on here, that's fine. I'm just doing this to kind of show this as an example. Okay. Then you can put another greeting up here, but if you do, you need to remember you're going to be putting that dot up there. So you need to leave space for that. So I'm going to put to the happy couple. And we're just going to stamp that just above the score line, like that. Okay, so next up, I'm going to show you, these are the dual lock coins. They lock into each other, so it's not like Velcro where there's hook on one side and loop on the other side. These lock into each other, so you need two to join to each other. So I'm going to take one right off the base. If you're looking for these, they're in the description of the video. They're called dual lock coins. So I'm just going to add that right there. And we'll grab another one, and we're going to place it with the sticky side up so they're like connected in the center like they're going to be. And then we can close this up and then press it down. And then that has that little satisfying click, so to speak. All right, okay. That's all there is to the dual lock coins. These work really well if you have something to kind of press onto. If you don't have anything in the back to press onto, then sometimes Velcro will work better, because Velcro can kind of click or connect a little bit better. But these really do hold well. Like they are a nice product in terms of holding something close, because this is not going to disconnect. It kind of clicks rather than like pulls apart. So I don't know. I do like, you know, you need different closures for different purposes. Okay, next up, I did already do some of these little flowers, but I can show you how I did that. So I've got a piece of basic white, scrap piece of basic white, and instead of using fresh freesia, I'm going to go one color darker, which is Highland Heather, and I'm just going to stamp that down. Because I'm going to color with fresh freesia, and if I did fresh freesia with fresh freesia, the lines would really get a little bit too light. You could also use like a black or a dark gray, but I wanted it to be like subtle and soft, not harsh like a black. So that's why I chose to go with the same color stamping and just a little bit lighter coloring. Then I'm going to take Old Olive, and you're going to need 2 leaves, but I'm just going to show you how to color one of them. Stamp. Old Olive is kind of our standard nature green. It's got green with a little tiny bit of yellow in it, so it's just a really nice color. We're going to go a little lighter than the colors that I stamped in, because we still want the lines to show. So I'm going to use fresh freesia for my flower. And you just basically, I am being very boring. I'm just going to brush on here fresh freesia light. And if you want labels for your blends, go to my blog. It's the first link you will encounter in the description of the video, and go to resources. Under there, you're going to find all the colors that are current, and then I also have all of the colors that have retired, and I put those all into one document. So if you have older colors and you want to add them, you can. And then I also have a color chart that you can fill in as you get different Stampin' Blends. It looks like this. Mine is all filled in, but as you get your blends, you find the color on the chart and you fill it in, and that way you're not constantly guessing how dark is Darling Duckling or Fresh Freesia. You have it all filled in, and you can see at a glance what your colors are. I'm going to take Fresh Freesia Dark now, and at the bottom of the petals, they've kind of got them an extra area where you can kind of just shade it in, and I'm just going to do that. So and I kind of did that for some of the other petals as well. Just kind of did a little shading, but there is some guides kind of as to where to do that shading. And then to finish it off, I did take this is Darling Duckling, and I'm just gonna do the center with yellow. And for this flower, did it in the same way. I used Calypso Coral and colored with Petal Pink. Okay, so those colors can go, and now I'm going to use my soft sea foam. Oh, actually, I'm going to use the dark first this time. And I am just going to follow the lines of the leaf. And remember, I want this to be soft, but if you want it to be darker, you can use Old Olive and Old Olive. You can use black ink, but I just want it to be like kind of subtle and soft. And I'm just going to fill in this with the light sea foam. And then all you do is there's dies that match this, you run it through the die cutting machine, and then you get these pieces. You're going to need 2 leaves and 1 flower if you do it the same way as me. Okay, then you're going to grab a dimensional and you're going to stick it in the flower center, and you're going to put your flower kind of, you know, that bottom lump, you'll put it right there, and then we're going to glue these leaves onto here like that. So by putting the dimensional in the center, you have room to maneuver the leaves around that. Oh, my glue is, it's almost done. It might make it through the tutorial. Almost. I have a full glue on standby. I'm just kind of stubborn. I do like to use up my glue to the fullest degree. The bottle does last a long time though, I will have to say. So isn't that pretty? And then if you want to, you can add just a little bow and add that like as a little bit of sparkle. And you can use tear and tape. This time I decided I would try using mini glue dots. What I did is I'm opening up the roll and I'm just peeling one off with my piercer. And I'm actually not putting it on the knot. I'm putting it beside, kind of on the back of the loop. And I'm going to do 2 in hopes that that will help it stick long term. But I would definitely do 2. See, I just have the little mini glue dot on there. With surgical precision, she attached the bow to her project. Right? Okay. And then just add that on there like that. See, it's very pretty. All right, let's move things aside. And I don't know, I have like a fake gift card that I sometimes use, but let's just use this very, very old iTunes gift card, and we'll just slide it into our little pocket here. Okay. And so there's that. I think I did everything I needed to do for the project. So there is that, and there's that. I'll shove everything aside so you can kind of see how that all came together without seeing my messy desk, right? Let's pretend my desk is not messy after all of this. But that is how you put it together. And it's, you know, you can do these in different colors, and it'd be great for birthdays as well, or other occasions. So you can definitely decorate it up. But I like the way the dies kind of come through, and it looks like a nice little thing. Now, if you want to protect it, say you're giving this for a wedding, we sell clear envelopes, and I did not put these in the supply list, but if you go to the Stampin' Up! Store and you put in clear envelopes, I think there's like 50 in a package, I believe. Yeah, there's 50 in a package. They last a long time. But what I like these for is often they're just great for like packaging things up. And you could slide this in here, and then you could give this, I would maybe put the adhesive towards the back. This does peel off, and so you have adhesive built right into there. And if you wanted to, like, if you wanted to like have a bit of a backing, this looks fine just as it is. But if you wanted to cut like a 4 1/4 by 5.5 piece of white cardstock just to back that up, you could, and then, you know, it just, you wouldn't glue it onto there. You would just like slide it in there to, you know, give it support. This feels like it's got several layers of cardstock though, so like I don't feel like it feels flimsy. It feels like substantial. So, you know, that would just be to kind of give it a little bit more size, so to speak, in amongst other wedding cards or things. Like sometimes they have like boxes at weddings where you put cards or monetary gifts. So, you know, if you wanted to kind of create a little bit bigger, but this looks really cute, like, or beautiful, and it's, I don't know, it's just a nice way to package up a gift card and make it look fancy and beautiful, and, you know, kind of like you thought of the person as you were making them. So that is it for my tutorial today, and if you enjoyed it, I hope you are already a subscriber to my YouTube channel. And if you aren't, please hit that subscribe button so that you can find me again in the future. If you hit the notification bell, it might even send you a notification when I go live next. That's always handy. Give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate that. Leave me a comment. Share my video with someone that you think might like this. That's also awesome. I appreciate all of that because it does help me get seen by other people, and it allows me to continue to do what I do. Every Friday I go live, and it's generally a 3D project because that's what I love to do. It's kind of my forte. So, and then I also, if you're on my email list, you will get project sheets. If you're not already on my email list, it's free. Just look in the description of the video and you will find the link to subscribe. All right, I'm going to say hello to all of you. I do this at the end, so if you have questions and I don't happen to see your question as we go along, I will try and answer it after the fact. So we'll just go through and say hello to everyone who joined. Yeah, everyone was wondering why I wasn't out. You know, my internet like just went down. I hit the live button this morning, and the spinning wheel of death or doom or whatever. Let me get rid of my second self here. It just went spinning, and then I was like, my husband also works from home, so after that I was like, honey, is your internet also down? And he was also just in the middle of a meeting. So he went down, took a look at our garage where we keep our router, and wiggled some wires, and lo and behold, we were back online. So that was good. So I'm glad he was here to do that. I don't generally like to touch the boxes. I don't want to do anything wrong, but I generally am not that person. So I'm glad he was there to do that, wiggle the wires and get us back online here. Marla says, it will be 70s on Tuesday and blizzardy yesterday. Oh my goodness. That's crazy. 70s in Nebraska? All right. We're still very cold here in the Boston area, and we are about to get snow right around lunchtime, which is like pretty soon, and that just makes me sad because we still have snowpack and our roof still hasn't completely melted, but I'm hoping. We have like just about a week left of February, and February is the worst month here, so we're almost done through February. And March 6th, I'm out of here. I am going to be gone for almost 3 weeks in March because I'm going to on stage in Europe, and I'm also going to go visit my relatives in Germany, and I'm very much looking forward to that. My sister and I will be going together and doing the relatives part, and I have a team member and I are going together to on stage. I'm so glad I have someone going with me. Rhonda is the team member who's going with me, and she has been with me the last 2 on stages. So I asked her if she would come with me to Europe, and she said yes. And so we are going to have a good time. And I have not been back to Germany in many years. Let me just say it's been a few decades. No. Am I that old? No, No, I'm not. But it has been a while. I haven't been back there since I was a college age student. So it has been a long time. So I'm very much looking forward to being back in Germany. I have been back to Europe since, but I have not been back to Germany. So this is awesome to be going back there. Anyway, I've totally taken this off topic. So let's say hello to more of you. And Tina's south of Boston, and it's like a gloomy morning. It is. It very much is. Hello, Nancy. Hello, Kids Are My Life from Virginia. Hello, Mary from windy Indiana. Hello, Romaine from gloomy Pennsylvania. Hello, Kimberly. She says the high of 50s this week spoiled us. Lake effect snow on Sunday. Yeah, we're going to get snow, I think, on Sunday too, or Monday, Sunday into Monday. As if we didn't already have enough snow, right? Hello, Carol from sunny Florida. Well, at least somewhere has some sun and probably no snow. Hello, Marge from Connecticut. And Kimberly says it's very windy in Indiana. Hello, Karen from cold, chilly Southern Oregon. Hello, Marty from Pittsburgh. Hello, Verblue from chilly, Missouri. Hello, another Tina. And she's looking forward to the project. She said, so sweet. Hello, Maria. Says beautiful. Tina says it's rainy and damp in Maryland. Karen likes the gift card holder. Susan says, good afternoon from the UK. Cold and raining. So Susan, your job is to, in 2 weeks, use all your powers to make Europe sunny and non-rainy. Good luck with that, right? It's probably known for its rain this time of year, but we can hope, right? Hello, Evelyn from Germany. I'll be visiting you very soon. Well, not Evelyn specifically, but Germany. And she's totally fed up with winter. Well, let's use all of the power, our mental thoughts, to warm up Europe for 2 weeks from now, because that's when I'm leaving. Marilyn said she made 3 of my cake in a box holders this week. So fun. Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad you liked them. I've done several, birthday in a boxes in the past. I think they're just so fun, because like you're just ready for that unexpected little birthday, and it's just a cute little thing. I don't know. I don't know if anyone else has ever done them before I did them, but it came to my brain without, seeing it elsewhere. And I thought this is kind of fun to do a birthday in a box. Kimberly says, the starter kit's such a great deal, and she's loving the new Stampin' Positioner. That's great. And I hopefully will give you something else to make with it soon. Hello, Judy from Kansas, and she says it's cold there. Tina said she watched the replay of the second technique video and couldn't post anything. Wanted to know if you could show us how to restamp an image on the positioner at some point. Yeah, maybe next week. That would be a great thing. It is, I will say, it is a tiny bit harder with the Stampin' Positioner because there are some parts that could technically move. So it doesn't have that kind of like corner positioning. We can use the little angle thing. So I'll see if I can get you a good way to do the re-stamping. It's just, if things come out of alignment, then we have to kind of, do some interesting things. And I think with stamp repositioning, I think it is better to use the big plate because it is kind of more stable in one place. So yeah, I will work on that. All right. Judy says she loves the nesting dies. Carol says hello from Connecticut. Tina said she just put me on the big screen. Oh my goodness. I would hate to see myself on the big screen, but I'm glad you can stand it. Judy says she absolutely loves a gift card holder. That's great. Oh, and everyone liked the tip for the gift card holder, so that's good. Karen is going to watch the replay. CRS949 says, where can she get the dual lock dots? They are down below in the description of the video. So just scroll down. They're almost at the very bottom under Amazon links because Stampin' Up! Does not sell them. But they are a product. They are a 3M product. 3M is what makes them. But I think so. When I first came across these dots, I actually saw it like on a commercial mailing that came to my door. And then I was like, I have to find where to get these. Well, it turns out that the 3M dual lock coins, they haven't hit quite the mainstream yet. So as an industrial thing to stick things together, yes, people are using them. Not so much with like smaller quantities. So what people do is they break up bigger rolls and sell them off in smaller lots. And that's what we need. So that's why I think mine is on a roll like this, and they gave me a little piece of Velcro that helps stick things together. But you can see this is what they are. But I think I have not gone to check recently, but if you go to the 3M website, I think you can only buy these in massive amounts, which we don't want as paper crafters. We're not going to need 10,000 of these. Well, maybe some of you will, but not me. And so I found a place on Amazon that sells them in smaller lots. So there you go. And I checked this morning and they are still in stock. So that's where you can get them. T says, adorable purses. Thank you. All right. And Marge said that she found the site. Okay, good. Awesome. Marge helped out CRS949. Awesome. That's great. Karen says she agrees with using as much glue from the bottle as possible. Waste not, want not. Right. I do. Like, I do the same thing. Do you do this with your shampoo bottles? Like when I get down to the bottom of my shampoo, I add some water, I shake it around, and like I get all of the rest, and then once that, doesn't, like I will use it, like maybe I won't use it on my hair anymore, but I'll use it as body wash. Like I am like getting the last little bit out of my shampoo bottles. And I also do that with my Tide bottles. Like when I buy detergent for my laundry, I cut open that bottle, like I make a little nick in it, and I get out it is impossible to pour that last little bit out, and I get that last little bit out because like I'm not going to waste that little bit. So that's me using up as much as possible. Hello, Romaine. She says very cute. Terry says so pretty. Do the coins come smaller than 1/2 inch? I don't know. And if you go to the 3M website, you might be able to see if they do. I think that's a possibility. And I think mine are, I'm going to double check. Ooh, grab me a ruler. Yeah, mine were 1/2 inch. They were 1/2 inch dots. So I don't know if they come in smaller. The only thing is finding them in a smaller quantity and smaller. But you can check to see if 3M makes them in a smaller size. And then you can do an internet search. But these ones I like because they're clear, and 1/2 inch is a good size for many of my projects. Mary says, beautiful project as usual. Tina says, so pretty, so glad she brought the sweet. You could add a ribbon to make it a purse for Mother's Day. Yeah, that's a good idea. I decided not to make this into a purse because it was like, it's supposed to be like wedding-ish, but yes, it could. I did think about that. If you were going to do that, I would sandwich the straps behind the purse flap. So you know how we glued the purse flap and then we glued the backing on? Sandwich those ribbon flaps or the purse strap. I'm going to show you. We're going to just kind of do this. So you could do like that and make it into like a little purse as well. That would be super cute. But you're going to sandwich it, put on the flap first, then put your ribbon on. I would probably position it in there with like some tear and tape, and put the ends behind there and then glue on this back piece, and that way you can hide the ends and they won't show. That will look really cute. Good idea. I actually did think of it, but I was like, you know, I just did a purse for Valentine's Day, and so like I wanted to kind of make it also for the wedding couple, and I thought a purse might be like too towards the, you know, the bride, and this one kind of, I mean, it still is pretty and florally, but it kind of is more like a gift card holder. But absolutely, give your mom a gift card. That would be awesome. March says she uses the clear envelopes to package up cards when she sells them. That's a good idea. And you know what? That's another thing, another point. If you're making, if you are selling your cards, our medium envelopes, we also sell basic white medium envelopes. And guess what? They fit inside here. So if you sell your cards, you can fit a card in there. Like our standard size card is like a half sheet of cardstock folded in half. You can fit your card in here, and you can still fit an additional medium envelope. So for people who like to have like a traditional envelope that seals their card completely in so you can't be seen, you know, because maybe they're going to mail the card, so you provide the envelope for that, so they have the correct size. You can put it in the clear envelope with your card, so this will protect it off from like fingers, you know, because we go through a lot of trouble to make our cards. So if we're going to sell them, it's a good idea to protect them. That's a good point, March. Romaine says, thank you. Bear Blue says, beautiful gift card holder and in her favorite color, purple. Donna says she really loves this gift card holder from Ontario, Canada. Glad to have you on here, Donna. Judy says, thanks for sharing. They are beautiful. Thanks for the links on the dots. And my favorite items also. Yeah, I don't think I put the dual lock coins in my favorite items. I might have. I'm not sure. I kind of populated that store up when I first started it a few months ago, and I'm not sure what I all put in there, but I did put in under this video, you will have a separate link to those coins. Oh no, snow started here in Connecticut at 10 a.m. It's probably gonna start to drop onto us soon. Oh yeah, I think it's drizzling here now. I'm just looking out into the sky. All right, Catherine says, beautiful project as usual. Thank you, Catherine. Terry says she just looked and the 1/2 inch is the smallest that the dual lock coins come in. So, okay. Thank you for looking that up. The best place to look is to go right to the source, and I'm assuming, Terry, you went to the 3M website. Hello, Carolina. And she says she can't hear. So maybe that's, I think everyone else can hear. So maybe look for the volume button. Maybe you have something plugged in like headphones or so hopefully you figure that out. Terry says, have fun on my trips. Thank you. I will try and do a few more videos before I leave. T said she just ordered some coins. Awesome. Carol says she does that with anything she can, and I'm not sure what you're referring to. That's why I should be doing the comments as they're coming live, but you know, they distract me, and I want to have like, when I demonstrate, I want to have like everything kind of boom, boom, boom so you can see it. Kimberly says it's like a fancy clutch when it's a purse. Yes. Awesome. All right. Well, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day and a great weekend. Watch for my project sheet coming out tomorrow. If you want to take advantage of the free shipping from Stampin' Up, today is the last day to do so. It will end up at midnight Mountain Time, so make sure you get your orders in before then. That paper that we used today, where has it gone? It's over here. It was on low supply. This one, the lovely and beautiful paper, it's on low inventory. So if you want some of that, it is a specialty paper, so it usually takes longer to come back into stock if Stampin' Up! Hasn't already put it in the process to be reordered. So we're still into February, so I'm pretty sure they will reorder some more. But as we get closer to the end of April, as things sell out, Stampin' Up! Might not bring them back into stock because we're heading towards the time when things retire. So anyway, that's just a heads up on that particular product. Okay, have a great weekend, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.